Pryde's Picks is spoiler heavy and full of crude language. I swear like a sailor, and Lockheed's no better. Consider yourself warned. Hey everyone, it's November 20th, and I'm here with this week's Pryde's Picks. This week we're going to change it up and kick it off with a bit of DC, do a butt ton of Marvel, and wrap it up with one of my favorite Vertigo comics. Let's get started with Harley Quinn number 0. Now this book has 17 different artists, and basically it is Harley breaking the fourth wall the entire time, commenting on the different artists that are portraying her. It started out a little slow, and I was kind of irritated because I hate the fourth wall breaking. I hate it altogether. I don't need some asshole in spandex to tell me I'm reading a fucking comic book. I get it, dude. I'm not a fan of Deadpool, so when Harley started doing it, I was a little irritated. But about halfway through, I kind of got into it because the artist kept changing, and it felt very quick-paced and a lot of fun. She's almost in a dream state, so shit just keeps changing. And then we got to a page that was really familiar, and I don't know if you guys remember, but a while ago, DC got into a lot of shit because they were doing this art contest for Harley Quinn, and they had her in different suicide positions, and artists had to try to make that happen, and the one that did it the best is going to be put in the comics. Well, when I got to the part where she's tickling a little alligator's mouth and wearing a suit made out of chicken, and she's dangling over a bunch of alligators, I was like, no shit. So the winner of the contest is this guy named Jeremy Roberts. And his art was awesome. She looks really cute. And despite me, along with everybody else, bitching about how this seems so out of character and so wrong, when the contest came out, it actually fit really well into the story arc that was going on. So DC, I apologize. You were right. It looked really good. It was in good taste. It wasn't her throwing toasters while she was sitting in a bathtub. I actually enjoyed it. So I apologize, DC. And Harley Quinn number 0 had a great arc. It was fun. It was silly. It was breaking the fourth wall in a good way. Buy it now. Let's move on to a book I picked up for funsies. It was Scooby-Doo Batman Team Up number 1. If you are a fan of Scooby-Doo and you love Scooby-Doo cartoons, which I kind of didn't, you'll enjoy this book. I thought Scooby-Doo was very predictable and everything happened the same way and they followed the same little measurement of, if it hadn't been for you dang kids, that this book was completely predictable, like every episode of Scooby-Doo. And the versions of Batman and Robin in it were the over-the-top, super, super positive, happy-go-lucky Batman and Robin. And I didn't like this book. If you had taken Scooby-Doo and paired him with, fucking Christian Bale Batman and been like, where is he? I would have fucking loved this book. This book was funsies and cutesies, and for that reason I'm going to shit on it. Let's wrap up DC with a little more Batman. Batman number 25 with Two-Face. Now, what's going on in Batman right now is this chick, Erin McKillen, is in custody, and she's the one that basically defaced Two-Face, killed his wife, pissed him off, and she did it for a very good reason. She had a twinster. And I guess he was responsible for her dying, so she's just getting revenge. I could understand that. Harvey Dent killed my sister. I'd come at his wife like a spider monkey too, so I don't know how she's that bad. She's kind of, just living the dream. She goes to Bruce Wayne for help, and he's like, Batman Inc. has been closed. And she's like, no, get your friends to help. And then in true Batman cartoon style, he goes undercover in the prison and rescues her. I don't know where it's going to lead. She ends up at Wayne Manor at the end of the book. It was funnish, and I can relate to a twinster. So I'm going to say, read it on the shelf and buy something good. Now we're going to move on to Marvel Comics with A+X issue 14. Now, I usually pick up the A+X books because they're a guilty pleasure. I know I'm going to fucking hate these books. So I pick them up, and I know you guys say, why do you buy books that you're just going to shit on? But it's such a guilty pleasure. I can't help but read these and hate these and read the next one. So this one has Magneto and Superior Spider-Man Doc Ock teaming up, along with later Captain America and Cyclops. The Cap and Cyclops arc, meh, whatever, it wasn't that great. Now, Doc Ock, Spidey, and Magneto get together and they're going after MODOK. And they're both being, like, smarter than each other and, like, jerking each other, like, their own dicks about how smart they are and using big words and pretending how they're so much better than each other. And I was bored. There was one part of the book that I got really pissed off about, and that was Spider-Man saying one of the rooms smelled like marijuana and something else. I really don't think... I don't do drugs. I'm sorry. I'm not a druggie. I don't understand why Spider-Man would even use the word marijuana. He could say cow dung. He could say anything else. But marijuana in my comic books, it really kind of rubbed me the wrong way, and I read it a few times because I really didn't believe it. But the best part about this book, they get to MODOK. MODOK starts talking his big spiel about how he's greater than everybody, and Magneto does what I expect him to do in any fight situation. He raises his hand, does this, MODOK flies against the wall, and then he's begging for mercy. So it's like all this excitement to get to MODOK, thinking this big fight's gonna happen, and it ends in 2 swipes. And I feel like that is Magneto's powers, and I don't know why we don't see that more often. So that I can appreciate. I say read it on the shelf, and then maybe take it to the bathroom and piss on it. Next up is Superior Spider-Man, the Annual. Now, I don't quite understand why they do annuals. It's like a long-ass one-shot they just throw in once a year just to annoy the shit out of me. But sure enough, Doc Ock says he's the Superior Spider-Man one more time because we don't believe it. And he goes up against this guy named Blackout. Now, Blackout kind of hits close to home, goes after Aunt May to get to Peter Parker. And Doc Ock comes after him. Doc Ock proves that he is once again a very vicious killer. And he basically goes to no lengths and doesn't play on the bad guy's turf. He comes at him when he's least expecting it. Doesn't matter if it's going to jeopardize Aunt May in the end. And he, once again, is a fucked up Spider-Man. He goes where Peter Parker would never go, and that was kind of cool, but at the same time, it's kind of lost its luster for me. I'm not sure why that was a one-shot annual. It wasn't that exciting. It didn't do too much for me. It felt like a throwaway. So I'm going to say, steal it from a friend? Next up is Uncanny XMen issue 14. And as you all know, the Uncanny X-Men follows Scott Summers and Magneto and their defected group of X-Men. Now, we know Kitty and the original Old New X-Men are over in his camp now, and this book has nothing to do with any of them. This book is mostly about Benjamin Deeds. He is one of the new little X-Men that have joined the group, and his ability is to morph. He kind of starts to resemble the people he's closest to, and Emma Frost decides that his power has great potential, because she realizes he's releasing a little bit of a chemical at the same time that makes people a little more passive, a little more trusting, and she realizes they can use him to infiltrate different places. So she takes him to Atlantic City, has him hit on a bunch of people. You find out he's gay and he really doesn't want to hit on girls, but she's like, try it anyway. She has him deliver a message to somebody, and he has no idea what he's doing. But it turns out she has him infiltrate a SHIELD base. Basically, he delivers an envelope. He doesn't know what it says. And when the guy opens the envelope, it says, someone in your organization has mutant-killing sentinels, and you either take care of that, or we're coming for you. So, signed, Scott Summers, with a little smiley face. So, this kid gets caught. Magic pulls him out last minute. But he basically has this potential that I didn't really see before. And I really appreciate the fact that they're kind of delving in a little bit more into some of these other mutants, and not just Goldballs Fabio and all that other crap. The end of the book has them asking him to figure out his mutant name, and someone says Morph, and they're like, nope. I thought it was cute. Any X-Men fan would enjoy it. I like this book a lot. I would say if you're interested in new mutants and new stuff going on, buy it now. Let's jump into X-Men issue 7. And now this book series is the one with the all-female X-Men cast. We find out that Lady Deathstrike isn't dead. She has somehow symbiotically invaded this woman's body, this young, rich Hispanic lady, and she wears this Day of the Dead makeup, and she's Lady Deathstrike. So Lady Deathstrike has gone to the Jean Grey School of Gifted Youngsters, and she is looking for Carmina, who recently had Archaea put into her, and it's like this robotic entity that was controlling her, and she wants these Sentinel-like powers that this girl has. And the one problem I had with this book is the artist, I love the art, it was a lot of fun, but all the female, dark-haired, Hispanic characters look alike. So I was a little confused. Even Typhoid Mary, who shows up at the end, spoiler alert, looks just like Lady Deathstrike without her makeup on, looks just like all the other girls. I'm not loving this arc so far. It's the beginning of it, though, so I'm going to stick it out. I will say... Wait, no, I won't even say that. I'm going to say read it on the shelf and buy Uncanny XMen. Next up is Young Avengers issue 12. Now, a while ago, this character named Mother showed up, and she basically killed Billy's parents and took them over, and she's controlling the adults in this reality, and she's also in other realities doing something similar. For some reason, adults see that she can do no wrong. When the kids go to them and they're like, no, this is going on, the adults are like, that's okay, kids. Everything will be fine. It's just parents being parents. Even Captain America is susceptible to it. So basically, the kids are on their own. So picture Hocus Pocus, when the witches have the whole city, like, on lock, and all the parents are oblivious because they're just dancing their faces off and the kids have to figure shit out. That's what this is. This whole arc is one long arc of Hocus Pocus. That's not super original, but I did like seeing all the Young Avengers and the Young X-Men and the young characters show up and kind of band together. The thing about comics is when I was a kid, I could really relate. That's why I liked Kitty Pryde so much, was that I was a kid, she was a kid. I felt like I can relate to that. I feel like comic books now, all the X-Men and the Avengers, they're all adults with adult problems. They have wives, they have children, they have mistresses. But as a kid, I can't relate to that. So this book is definitely something you want to pick up if you have teens or preteens and you want to get them into comics, because it's something they can actually fucking relate to. I'm tired of watching all these adults act like adults, and I don't really give a shit. So for that reason, this book is fun. Get your kids to read it. If you have children, try it out. Issue 12, I would say, wait for the trade. You don't have to buy it now, but the arc is fun, and your children might enjoy it. Let's move on to Cataclysm, Ultimate Comics Issue 1. Now, as we all know, Galactus has shown up because the different dimensions are pulling apart and shit's getting real. Vision decided to use these little Galactus nanobites to try to stop him. But in reality, it just made him stronger, and these little nanobites went into the world, and now they're infiltrating these people and turning them into, like, mindless zombies that really don't care about themselves, and they just worship the all-powerful Galactus. And even our little buddy MODOK seems to be susceptible to this. Well, shit's hitting the fan, ships are falling out of the sky, the Avengers don't know what the fuck to do, and it's getting real in issue 1. So I would say buy it now. I'm enjoying this. Pick it up if you want to see shit get real. We're going to wrap up this week with Vertigo's The Wake, issue 5 of 10. And now for the past 5 issues, these characters have been trapped on this underwater base with these beings, these mer people, flesh-eating motherfuckers that can get into your head, make you see stuff, like, show up, and they're just terrorizing them. And I have to admit, I was getting a little bored with that because I was like, when are they going to leave the base? When is stuff going to change? Change of scenery would be nice right about now. And I completely forgot that The Wake issue 1 had this girl living in this post-apocalyptic world. And basically, this is in a 2-part series. And the first part ends, and I don't want to spoil the ending for you, but it is kind of shit hits the fan. The first part is ending, and they prep you that the second part, 6 through 10, is going to come in February. This is kind of like a mid-season finale, and we have to wait till February to see what's going to happen next. So the next part of this book is going to be, they said, an even bigger spectrum, an even bigger, it's going to give you all the answers to the questions you have, and I'm actually really excited about it, because it's what I really liked about the first issue of The Wake. So I feel like this is going to get really good. You do want to know what happens, so buy it now. And you can wait anxiously with me for issue 6 come February. As you all know, Thanksgiving is coming up, and I probably won't see you before it, so I just want to wish you all a happy Turkey Day, and go snuggle your families, and eat a butt ton of food, and get really fat, because that's what I'm going to do. The fat kid inside of me just wants to eat a fuck ton of turkey. And good night, everybody. Mwah.